Hello and welcome to this beautiful Gentle Vinyasa Flow. This is the perfect practice for anyone just starting out. I started yoga in my 40s, so I truly believe that anyone at any age with any body can start this beautiful practice that is yoga. Let's get started. Just find a comfortable place where you can have your spine nice and tall, your hip bones are on the mat or the ground, and sit up nice and tall with your shoulders relaxed. Bring your palms up and just take another couple breaths here. We're just preparing our body. Ways are so busy, a lot going on. Just take a second to tell yourself that this is your time to relax, your time to breathe, to move your body, and to feel good. Good. And we're just going to bring our fingertips to touch on either side and reach our arms all the way up. For a stretch, you could look up if you want to, and we're bringing our chest forward, we're reaching for the sky, and then we're lowering our hands down. Good. One more time, reach up and lower. One more time, reach up and lower. Good. Bring your left arm all the way up, reach it for the top, and then try to do a side bend. Now just start to do this really gently, reaching over towards the right side. Good, don't force it. It just should be a nice, gentle stretch. Maybe you can bend a little bit more, get comfortable, and then take a deep breath in here, expanding the chest in this position. Inhale, exhale, and then slowly come up and over to the other side. Good. Just start by bringing your arm up over your head, and then you can see if it will reach over towards the side wall. And then take another breath here. We don't want to hold our breath at all through this practice. We want to be consciously breathing. Nice. You're going to feel so good after this class, I promise. Let's roll our shoulders back, just twice, and then forward. Good. Let's come into a kneeling position because sometimes this can be a little hard if you're just starting out. So come in a kneeling position, and we're just sitting on our heels. If this is too much, you might want to sit on a pillow or bring yourself up. This will come with time, I promise. So kneeling position, we're just going to start to warm up the neck as we drop our chin down. And then look up just slightly. We're not relaxing our head, so we're not losing control. We're lifting up with a breath. Exhale as we lower our head down, just letting the weight of our head control how high we go up and lower. Good. Come back to center and then just drop your left ear to your left shoulder, relaxing your shoulders. Maybe you want to bring your fingertips a little bit further out. Feeling this nice stretch on the left side, and then come up to neutral, and then the same thing. Take a breath. Just letting the weight of our head kind of like relax. Take a breath in and out. Good. Come back to center. And then we're going to come into a child's pose. So in a child's pose, we can bring our knees together or apart, and we're sitting back on our heels just like we were. And then we're reaching our body forward, and we're trying to get our forehead down into the mat. And then you could take a few breaths here. Again, if this is too much, you could always lift your hips a little bit higher So you're still opening the shoulders, or you could see how it feels if you want to bring your knees together. Just feel this nice stretch as you reach your arms towards the top of your mat. Good. And then walk your way back onto your knees. And then I want you to flip your toes. So we're doing a little toe stretch. Sometimes we can get cramped depending on what we were doing or not doing during the day. So we're going to sit back onto our feet. We're going to feel this nice stretch so we get no cramps throughout this entire practice. We're going to reach our arms out, chest is open. This is our cactus. So we're trying to pull our elbows back. And then take a deep breath in. Good. And then reach for the sky. And then grab onto each hand. Pull your hands up. Good. And then do a little fancy move with your hands as you float them all the way down. Come up into your tabletop position. So just like it looks like, we look like we're in a table. And we're going to move forward and back, bringing the weight on our hands and then coming back on our knees. Just creating a little bit of movement here. You can have a little fun with this by moving your hips in a circular motion if that feels good. Good. Let's warm up the wrists a little bit more by putting the back of your hand. Now make sure you have a lot of your weight on your knees, because we don't want to put too much tension on the wrists. This is just a light stretch. So we're placing our hands down with the backs of our hands on the mat. And just do a little sway either from side to side or forward and back. Listening to our bodies, make sure that we're stable, we're balanced. Good. And then bring them back to center. Should be able to feel that. Come back to your tabletop position. I just want you to take a minute to squeeze your fingertips in towards the mat or the floor, wherever you're at. Give them a little squeeze and a grip. And always make sure that you have these fingers, your pointing fingers, that are pointing to the top. And then place your hands down. Good. We are going to shift our hips. So take your hips, shift them over towards the left side, and peek over your right shoulder. Trying to look behind. This is a nice twist. Come back to center and switch sides. Good. And then come back to your tabletop position. We're going to extend our right leg out, toes pointed in, and we're just lifting the leg. We're keeping our gaze between our hands. We're trying to squeeze this right glute here. We're keeping our belly tucked in. Lift. Trust me, this gets a lot easier. Like anything, you practice, you get better. One more breath, and then lower tabletop position. Left leg goes out, toes pointed in. Squeeze, squeeze. Good. Lower the left knee. Now we're going to flip our toes. We're going to come up to a downward facing dog. If you don't know what that is, you're just lifting your hips all the way up. Your elbows are in a little micro bend, and then you're trying to get your heels down to the mat. So take a couple breaths here. Play around with the movement. Good. You might want to bring your hands a little bit closer to the top of the mat. Maybe your feet want to go a little bit further back. The intention is to get a nice stretch in the hamstrings. So your heels may not be touching the mat, and that's totally fine. You might want to have your knees a little bit bent. You're going to want a little bend in your elbows. You're going to try to get your chest down to the mat, so you're opening up the shoulders. Just find that nice spot and hold. Nice. Good. Lower your knees back to the mat. So now we're in our tabletop position once more. We're going to sit back onto our heels and we're going to come up into our forward fold. So bring your knees up and then try to straighten your legs. Now start by bringing your feet a little bit further apart. So about shoulder width apart. We're dropping our head, letting it be heavy. Again, you could bend your knees if you want to. Grab onto your elbows. Give your head a little bit of a shake. Maybe you want to sway from side to side. I started by putting my hands over onto the bed every night. So there was one point where I could barely get to my toes. So I would just practice holding onto a chair and I would just slowly be able to get a little bit further each and every time. You can create a little bit of movement in your forward fold by bending one knee and the other. Maybe grabbing on to your legs if you find that this is easy for you and you want to pull yourself in. Good. We're going to bend our knees and we're going to rise to stand. So really slowly here, really slowly. And then bring your arms all the way up. Give yourself a big breath. And then bring your hands to heart center. Exhale. And now we're in our mountain pose. So we are just standing still like a mountain, rolling your shoulders, bring your palms facing inwards, squeeze your legs, feel yourself planted on the mat, feel your feet. Take a deep breath here. Good, and we're going to reverse it. We're going to bring our arms up. We're going to float our hands down to our chest. We're going to float down into that forward fold. You could have your knees bent or straight. And we're going to walk our hands forward, keeping our hips high so that we can straighten our legs into our downward facing dog. See how easy that is? Good. From here, we're going to float our body into our high plank. Don't worry, we're only going to be here for a couple seconds. High plank position. Lower onto your knees, release your toes, and just float your belly all the way down to the mat. Beautiful. Good. And we're going to start warming up our lower back by bringing your hands to your side and just push yourself up as much as you can. Keep your elbows in. And then lower. So we're pushing away from the floor, but we're also using our back muscles to lift ourselves up. Try to keep your shoulders down. Push up and lower. One more. Push up and lower. Good. Take a breather by bringing your arms out to cactus and dropping your right ear onto the mat. Pick up your feet and just let them sway from side to side. It's like a little windshield wiper action. Feel good for the hips. And then other side. So take your other ear, whichever one that was, place it on your mat. Good. And then bring your head forward. Straighten out your legs. Bring your arms in and you're going to shift yourself up into that tabletop position. You're going to curve your toes, bring your toes up, and you're going to go up back into that downward facing dog. You're going to take one breath and then walk your feet towards your hands. You're going to bring your hands up onto your shins for a little lift, trying to keep your back flat. And then lower down. Good. Bend the knees, rise to stand. Reach up. Hands to your heart. Now we're going to go into our warrior one. We're just going to start there. pretty easy. You're taking your right foot and you're stepping it back, and it's on a 45-degree angle. Back leg is straight, front knee is bent, and we are facing the front of our mat. And then we're just lifting our arms all the way up. We're just gonna hold this pose. We're squeezing the legs in. Good. We also have our front foot maybe a little bit closer to the outside of the mat so that we have a good stance, and shouldn't be teetering or tottering to either side. That's even a word. Reach up. Nice, good. And now what we're gonna do, slow and controlled, we're gonna lower our arms down. We're gonna keep that front knee bent. Find the mat with your feet and then push your foot back and sort of bend into a lunge. So now we're opening up the hips a little bit further. Nice. Such a nice stretch here. Breathe. Good. And then lower the back knee to the mat. Release the toe. Bring your foot back. Now what you could do here is you could bring both hands to the inside, and then you're going to swing the leg around. Come into your tabletop position. Flip onto your toes. Downward facing dog. Good. Let's try that again on the other side. So we're lifting the heels. We're bending the knees. We're jump or hop, we're stepping to the top of the mat into our forward fold, bringing your hands up onto your shins. Lower down into your forward fold. Bend the knees, rise up. Deep breath in, hands to heart center. And now we're picking up the left foot and we're stepping it back into our warrior one. So we have a 45-degree angle. Our toes are almost touching the outside of the mat. Take the other foot to the other opposite side, bending the front knee. Again, it's going to be different about wherever your hips are. We'll reach your arms up, bend the front knee, and hold. And smile. Breathe. Bend the front knee. Try not to come too forward. We want to be able to pull ourselves in, tuck it all in. Good, bend a little bit more. And then we're gonna float ourselves down. So we're floating our hands down, grabbing on to the mat or the floor, stepping our back foot a little bit more, maybe wiggling our foot forward, depending on how flexible we are, and sinking down into our runner's lunge. Keep breathing through your nose. Just a reminder. Good. And then drop that back knee. And then you might want to release the toe, bring the hand to the inside so that you can easily shift back and then take the foot and bring it around for your tabletop position, flipping your toes and then coming back into that downward facing dog. Good. From downward facing dog, we're going to go into our child's pose again. So drop your knees, release your toes. Any variation, bringing your knees together or apart. With time, you're going to know which one you like to do better. We're all different. All of our bodies are different. We have different leg lengths and flexibility. So no one yoga pose is going to look the same. Good. We're going to come on up. We're going to shift our hips over to one side. We're going to bring our feet forward. We're going to come into our boat pose because you can really gain a lot of strength if you can focus on your core. So let's just get started by simple, taking your hands, putting them behind your knees, and we're just lifting one leg and the other. And while we're here, we're squeezing our abdomen, our ab muscles. Good. And then if this is easy and you can do it, you could maybe play with bringing your hands forward, chest up. Good. Maybe you want to bring your hands to prayer, do a little bit of row your boat, side to side. Nice. Very good. Have your feet find the mat. Scoot yourself to the center. I have a little shorter mat today. And then one vertebra at a time, we're going to lower all the way down. And then give yourself a head to toe stretch. A deep breath in and out. This is such a great position where you can really expand the chest. And speaking of that, let's open up our chest a little bit further by bringing our feet together. So we're going to have our toes and our heels together, and then we're opening our legs, letting our knees fall from either side once more, like we did in the beginning. And we're going to put our hand on our heart or on our chest. We're going to take our other hand on our belly. We're going to roll our shoulders back, and we're just going to take some breaths in. We're going to feel the belly expand. So the belly is going to rise as we inhale. Then lower. Make sure it's a long exhalation. Deep breath in and out. One more time. Beautiful, good. Bring your knees together to touch, and then give yourself a squeeze by bending your knees, bringing them into your chest. Maybe you're rocking from side to side. This should feel nice. After a while, you'll notice every yoga pose feels nice. I promise. Good. Have your feet find the floor again. And then we're just going to have both knees fall over to the right for a twist. So you can bring your arms out to your side, or in cactus, or just down by your side. We're just letting them fall. You're twisting at the waist. This is really good if you feel like you're sitting a lot during the day. You have some lower back pain. It's also good for digestion. Good. And then bring your knees back up to center and let both knees fall over to the other side. You might need to shift your hips just a little bit. Also, if this is too much, sometimes you might want to put a block or a pillow between your knees if you have any sort of pain, just like you would at night. I know lots of people who like to sleep with the body pillow between your legs and your knees. It could feel really good. Good. Last pose is our waterfall, and then actually there's two more poses. The last one is equally beneficial. So bring your shoulders to the mat. You're just bringing your legs up. That's all you're doing. This is a slight inversion. We're having a break for our heart racing, all of that blood. It's important to go easy on our heart in all fashions. Good. And then slowly lower all the way down. We're just going to do a quick shavasana. This is a beautiful moment for your body to take in all of these beautiful benefits. So just lie down on your mat. Take a moment of silence with me. Do not skip this one. Relax with your palms facing upwards and take a deep breath in and out. Relaxing the mind. Feel this beautiful calm state. You might feel some tingling sensation in your body. This is your body healing. It's your body saying thank you. Thank you for moving me. I am meant to move. Just listen to your breath. If you want to stay in this pose a little bit longer, please just pause the video. And then when you're ready, roll over to one side. And then make your way up to another comfortable seated position, wherever that may be, where we come together with thanks and gratitude for this beautiful practice that is yoga. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so that we can do this beautiful practice together every day. Namaste.